Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with 60andMe. Many years ago, I had the great honor to work with Elisabeth Kubler-Ross, who was a doctor and an author who wrote about the emotional stages that a person goes through when they're trying to deal with bereavement and death. And it applied to the families as well as to the patient. And I helped her to organize workshops around Europe, and it was a life-changing experience for me on so many levels. She was an incredible woman, and the work she did was so insightful, just so right on. And I have had the chance in my life to use these 5 stages of loss in different life situations. One, for example, I always thought that when you go through a divorce or really any kind of separation, you go through those 5 stages, of anger, denial, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And so I feel like I've had an opportunity to really apply that to many areas of my life. And now that I'm here in Bali and learning yoga again after 20-some years of inactivity, I've really had a chance to apply those same stages to the dialogue that I had with myself as I was getting started with yoga, with gentle yoga. And I started really simple, doing gentle and yin yoga, which is about stretching your joints and trying to, get your body into a more flexible state. And of course, the first thing was denial. I could not believe that my body was just so, so unable to move. And I exercised, I danced, I walk a lot, but I really was out of shape. And my first response was denial. This just can't be. I'm not that unhealthy. I'm not that, stiff. But of course, that moved into the next stage of anger and frustration. And I just was just really sad with myself and very angry with myself that I'd allowed my body to get into that condition. And one of my yoga teachers was wonderful in, reassuring that, part of the yoga practice is to accept ourselves and as we are, and to be responsible for everything that has brought us to this moment. This is really hard for us, because it's easy to blame it on everybody else or circumstance. I didn't have the time. I was working, I was busy, didn't have time for yoga. And for me, it was just excuses. And so that denial and anger that I felt with myself was really very counterproductive. And as soon as I relaxed and just embraced who I was and, just said, hey, this is me, I'm going to have to live with these choices I've made that have got me here, and then I could move on. So that's first. It was denial and then anger. Bargaining. This was a really good one. This is the first couple of weeks of my practice. Bargaining with myself, with the environment, and with my teachers. Okay, I mean, this is really embarrassing to even talk about because, I'm a grown-up woman. I shouldn't have to do these things, but I did. I would go to my class, to my teacher every day, different teachers, every session, and say, I'm really sorry, but I'm 60-something years old, and I'm very stiff and not very flexible, and, just be aware of that, and, making excuses to the teachers. And, of course, they would smile at me and say, hey, just be where you are, and it's totally cool. But afterwards I thought how silly that was, to try to bargain with them, really, to get their sympathy. That's what it was, really. And, to try to get them to treat me differently or more gently, or I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting to, bargain my way to an easier ride. And it wasn't easy. It just didn't work out that way. But I worked through it, and I think that was the struggle. After about 3 or 4 weeks, so I did slip into the next stage. I got better at accepting myself, but I got really depressed, and that's the 4th stage that Elisabeth talks about. It's just feeling like, I'm never ever going to figure this out. I just won't be able to do it. I'm not fit. I'm not mobile. I'm just too old. Yes, I said that. And that's, as a person that started 60andMe, which is all about empowering women, to be able in their 60s to do whatever they like. I really said that to myself, this is it. I'm sorry, but I just am, too inflexible, too old to do this. And of course, that was the stage of depression. And Yep, I did a few deviations backwards, a few cheesecakes in the local cafe and a few little, just sort of negotiations with myself to feel better. But then I really did move on from the anger, from the depression, and actually start to accept. And this is the fifth and final stage that you kind of go through whenever you're making that transition, from one place to another. And of course, in Elizabeth's case, she talked about these 5 stages as related to, giving up your body and your life and dying. And of course, that's super powerful. But if you think about the fact that, we really go through these little mini deaths and mini transitions throughout our entire life. And if we can get from, denial, anger, bargaining, depression to acceptance, then we've moved forward. We don't have kind of the hero journey that primitive cultures used to have, where that was kind of part of growing up, not just growing old, but part of building your character, part of maturing and gaining the wisdom that we feel as we are older women. It's important that we respect that. And going through these stages, I think certainly gave me a lens to view that transition. So here I am. I wouldn't say I'm quite at acceptance yet. And this is the other thing, you slip back and forwards. So like you go back to anger, back to depression, up to frustration, or up to denial, but you get through it. And so today I feel good. I feel accepting today. Maybe tomorrow it'll be different, but you work it through. And I'm so glad that you're all here with me on this journey to help us all. I encourage you to think about yoga as an option for for helping these transitions, and I look forward to the conversations that we can have on this topic. And thanks again, everyone, for being here. What do you think about this? Are you going to try yoga? I think it might be fun for us to do it together. All right, everyone. Well, thank you again for being here. Take good care, everyone. Bye-bye.